What's up, goblins? I'm Scully the Goblin. How are you goblins doing? So, before this video takes place, or, well, takes off, I would like to mention, and I am not informed of, well, anything about Dying Light. I know about certain things, and most of that's just little. I watched, like, a video where they basically kind of showed a teaser for a new infected that had, like, these spider-like limbs on its back that don't look like they move, but I'm calling it the spider zombie anyways. But I also know, like, about factions, wildcard factions, and some other stuff that are going to be in the game. But, yeah, I'm hopefully going to keep this video short. It's just going to be me talking about stuff I hope to see and kind of want to see in the next Dying Light game. And I do gotta say, I am a fan of the first Dying Light game. I loved this game when I first got it, and it felt like I was in an actual zombie apocalypse game, except for, like, the story. I kind of didn't like the story of the first game that much. I like certain parts of it, but otherwise, meh. I like the gameplay and other stuff in the game, though. I did like the following DLC, I'm not gonna lie there. But, yeah. So, now that's out of the way, I would like to start off with, well, basically the first thing I want to see, well, what I hope to see in the next Dying Light game, and that is actually animals. Now, you might be wondering, Scully, why do you want to see animals in the next Dying Light game? Well, in what I'm guessing is either, like, I guess, concept art or, like, a screenshot. I seen this on, like, a YouTuber's, like, a video. I don't remember the guy's name or the channel, sadly. Otherwise, I would have told you goblins the name of that, and yeah, goblins could have checked it out for yourself. But, basically, in the little, I guess, video of his, it showed that apparently there was horses in the concept art. Now, I imagine, like, you could probably ride these horses around, like, the city, that sort of thing. Basically, they would be a means of transportation if you don't have a car at the time. But, besides horses, I would like to see other animals, such as rats, chickens, dogs, cats, maybe even some cows or that. And I would like to see, like, the animal AI react to, like, zombies or, like, enemies or other stuff, like, coming near them or that. Like, let's say you run into, like, a... Hell, I would actually like to see the AI towards the player be, like, either aggressive or friendly. Like, alright, let's say that you are, like, going for, like, this certain area, and you start hearing howling in that. You turn and you see, like, a pack of, like, wild dogs or even wolves. They look like they're starving or that. I imagine you would have to fight them off. Or let's say that you had food or that, you could probably just throw it and basically they will go after that instead. Basically like a distraction or something. Now, I did mention cats earlier. I would like to see cats in the game, including like other animals, even like cows or chickens. I imagine you basically, like, when you head to like a area that is clear, like a safe zone or like a settlement or like somebody's like little home, I guess, you would actually like find like these animals or that, or whenever you clear out like an area and basically capture it for like a certain faction or that, they would bring in animals or whatnot. But that's pretty much it for that. I would like to see horses in the game that actually make it so you can ride them around. That would actually be pretty cool. But, that's pretty much it for the animals. Or, hell, having a dog with you. But, what was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Now, the next thing is actually the big thing I want to talk about. And that is the wild card, or, like, factions, including, like, the major factions, the scavengers and the peacekeepers. Now, you might be wondering, Scully, what do you want to see, like, happen with those guys? Well, I imagine if you, like, side with a faction or that, they basically become friendly towards you. Ooh, at least if you side with them a certain amount of times, and eventually they see you as a, like, a part of that faction. Or at least allied with that faction. Now, as for that, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping, like, if they did make it so you could actually become allied with that faction. And I'm hoping they make it so, like, whenever you're in danger and, like, some of their members of that faction see you getting attacked by another faction or zombies, they will jump in to actually try to save you, basically help you out. Basically, I wish to see, like, a faction reputation type thing. Like, let's say you helped out, like, a certain group of people like long enough, they eventually... That was not me. Basically, let's say over time they start like respecting you, they start like helping you out, that sort of thing. Now, I would like to see other like changes happen in that. Like, let's say you side with like the scavengers, and then you side with like two wildcard factions that don't agree with them as much, and some of them that do. Like, let's say that you sided with like this wildcard faction that was trying to actually start up a farm in like a abandoned building. But the scavenger faction that you're sided with wants to set it up as like a area where they can actually trade stuff, basically get a hold of like water or guns, like weapons, armor, that sort of thing, to sell and use for their own purposes, like give it to their men in that. But this other faction, let's call it the Green Thumb faction, not a good name, but that was the only one I could come up with at the time, is basically trying to actually make like a garden of that. Now I imagine you would have like 3 choices or 4 choices during that like type of situation. You could convince them to share the building, make it so like the one floor is like dedicated to like farming in that, the other floor is dedicated to basically making armor, weapons, and gathering water and other food sources. Now I imagine if that actually happened, like you choose that option, both of the factions would start working together. Now, what I'm trying to say is, I hope it makes it so whenever you side with like a wildcard faction and enough times along with another faction, and I'm kind of hoping they make it so like if you side with those 2 factions and get them to get along, eventually those 2 factions become allied with each other. And like I said before, I would like to see like factions basically, if you help them out long enough and like basically help them out often, eventually members of them will actually jump in to combat whenever you're going against another faction, or hell, going against an infected. I would like to see them jump in to actually save the player's life. Like, let's say that you're getting attacked by a group of bandits, and basically you're knocked to the ground. Let's say that you allied with the peacekeepers. I imagine some peacekeepers, like scavengers or even like soldiers who are going out to clear out a zombie-like hive or that, and they see you on the ground, bet they'd be killed, they would run over with their shields and weapons, knock the people over, basically kill them, that sort of thing, and help you up. Now, I imagine, like, during the process, they would also, like, give you, like, some medicine so you can patch up, like, your wounds and that sort of thing. Same with, like, some of the other factions. I imagine, like, other factions would jump in and that sort of thing, and I imagine you basically could help out factions during, like, little small missions and that. Like, I imagine, like, let's say that there's this wildcard faction you're siding with. Like, let's say it's a group of, like, scavengers who, like, scavenge areas and try not to get on anybody's bad side. Let's say they're having problems with a group of raiders. Now, let's say that this group of raiders does not want to, like, help people. They just prefer to kill people, steal their shit, that sort of thing. They don't care about farming or anything. Pardon me. Let's say that you decide to help out the faction by, like, killing the raiders or that. I imagine, and afterwards the raiders will basically become enemies with you, including them. Now, I imagine, like, after you basically kill those raiders and that, and let's say that, how do I put this? Let's say, like, when you kill off a, like, group of people, well, I imagine, like, certain factions won't get along, certain factions will actually be at war with one another. I imagine if you, like, kill, like, a group from, like, this one faction, other factions will start to like you more. However, if you start helping out other factions, they will basically start to not like you more. Yeah, goblins get what I'm saying. I'm basically saying I wish to actually see, like, a feature for the factions that make it so they basically have, like, a reputation meter with you. Basically, like, the more you help out, like, a certain faction, the more you get certain factions to work together, it would mold the world around you. Like, let's say you sided with, like, a group of, like, zombie slayers. Let's call them that as their faction. Plus a group of rebuilders, basically people who are focused on, like, rebuilding, like, buildings, that sort of thing, setting up farms, and also sided with the scavengers. Let's say you sided with these group of people and you managed to get them to, like, work together, and it's like in a building area. Let's say they're on, like, rooftops of, like, some buildings. I imagine the rebuilders would actually bring in like farm animals. Now I did mention I wish to see like animals in the game, but I will probably get back to that in a moment. Let's say that you basically help them out. Eventually they start up this little community in that. And I imagine they would start asking you for help once in a while, but they would mostly have like a trade hub where you can go trade, that sort of thing, where you could actually buy crops, buy food, and even buy weapons and that. Including stuff that's scavenged from like zombie like hives or buildings that are infested with zombies. Call them the zombie infested buildings hives, damn. But that's pretty much it for like the factions and that. I would like to see like different types of wildcard factions though. Oh, I would like to see like one faction that's dedicated to rebuilding, well, more than one. I would like to see some factions that are dedicated to basically nothing but themselves. Hell, I would even like to see some factions who are dedicated to like just saving people and helping them out. Basically, different types of wildcard factions. Hell, I would like to actually see like these factions make changes to like the world around them. Now, like I really hope these wildcard factions have like a big effect on the story and that. But that's pretty much it for that. Now, as for weapons, I do hope to see basically different types of weapons. Like, I know that there's going to be probably guns in it, but most of them would probably be homemade ones. I imagine you could probably find like some homemade like revolver or something in the game. I don't know if they'll actually have something like that. If they do, that would be pretty cool. But I hope they add like different types of weapons and even make it so you can make your own weapons. But that's pretty much it for that. Now, as for transportation, I did mention earlier I would like to actually see them add horses, because in one YouTuber's video, I did mention this earlier, that either in concept art or in like a screenshot, it actually shows horses. And hell, in that one trailer for like I believe it was the 2018 reveal trailer, I think that was it, you actually see a dead horse on the ground in that trailer. I'm not gonna lie, you can actually go check it out. But what I'm trying to say is, I kind of hope to actually see like horses, maybe even some jeeps, like cars, that sort of thing. Now, I don't mean like military jeeps, I mean like the type of jeeps you got in basically Dying Light the Fall one. I'd like to see like different vehicles and other stuff as well. Well, hell, maybe they'll add like bikes and like motorcycles and maybe some other stuff. I just hate these guys. And I can't live. Alright, there we go. Now, well, speaking of zombies, let's move on to the infected. I would like to see some infected, like, return in that. I really don't like this version of, like, the spitters in that. However, I would like to see different variants of the infected. Basically, different, like, states of their infection, or, hell, different, like, evolved, like, infected. I would like to actually see the Night Hunter in, like, Dying Light 2 as, like, a creature that's not, like... Pardon me. I would like to see the Night Hunter as, like, a zombie type you can actually fight. That's not in an online match for that. And speaking of online, I would actually like to see basically different types of zombies you could actually play in an online match. Like, either a Night Hunter, maybe a Volatile, or hell, even a Runner or something. What's going on in here?
Hey, you're Crane, right? I heard a man talking about you. Don't worry, I'm not going to call you 31. I mean, we're all people here, aren't we? Not just numbers?
Yeah, I'm Crane. Who are you?
My name is Haluk. Hey, so you've met Spike, haven't you? He's sort of our resident mad scientist.
Yeah, I know Spike.
Yes, Spike will tell you a lot of things. But there's
Sorry
also
about stopping
some
there,
things
just
he
wanted to
won't
hear
say.
what this guy had to
Like
say
his
real
real
quick.
name. It's Rudolph. Oh, that his birthday is coming up soon. He'll be 50. He doesn't look that old, does he?
Are you saying I should get him some sort of birthday gift?
Oh, goodness, no. He hates birthdays. It's just... Spike was renting a room from me when the outbreak happened, so I guess I'd probably know him better than anyone else in Haran. You know, he used to teach at the University of Southern California. He decided to take a...
That's actually
I
interesting.
suppose you could call it a sabbatical. there was a sort of an incident with a very attractive young Koei.
Whoa. Spike walked away from his job and came to Iran because he had an affair with one of his students?
Her parents seemed to believe it was the only way for her to pass his class. Not very bright people, if I had to guess. No. There was no affair. Only accusations. I don't even think it was the girl's idea.
So then, what are you asking me to do for Spike?
Well, if you could just... I miss hanging out with him. Tell him I said hi, okay?
Okay, I'll get right on that.
Alright, we'll tell him in a moment. But, anyways, what was I at? Oh yeah, infected. I would like to see the Night Hunter as, like, infected you could face off in the next game. I would like to see, like, it look different in that. However, here's another thing. I would like to see different types of infected zombies. Not just, like... Well, I'm gonna point this out. All the infected zombies, the types you see, like, the different versions, all look like, again, virtually are, male. You never see, like, a female, like, infected type. Okay, so here's like a type I actually came up with. I call it the Night Stalker. Kind of like the Night Hunter, but a bit different. Think of the runner zombie, the ones that like run at you basically, those ones that just turned. But also think of volatiles and the Night Hunter at the same time. Basically, a Night Stalker is a zombie that, as its name, is basically stalking you. It doesn't like attack right away. Okay, it's not like a volatile where it becomes enraged in that. It basically will go around you in that. Also think of like a bolter. Basically, it waits till you're like at low health. Like, let's say you have 5 health or 10 health left, and it'll basically lunge at you. Now, here's 2 things that could happen. Basically, the Night Stalker could A, kill you, B, cocoon you. Basically, he put you in like this web-like substance, and you basically wake up in a dark zone. Now you might be wondering, Scully, what would be the point of it taking you to a dark zone? Well, let's say that you're, what was that bracelet thing called? I don't remember. Or basically your like bracelet thing says you're nearly infected. It'll basically drag you to a dark zone. And basically, instead of killing you, leaves you in like an area where it will get dark very quickly. So you basically have to try to escape. I imagine like Night Stalkers will actually try to kill you most of the time. And they'll basically be trying to gather people who are infected and bring them back to like a hive area. Basically a dark zone. However, I do imagine there will be different versions of the Night Stalker. I imagine there will be basically the Night Killer. It's basically a version of the Night Stalker that actually just straight up kills you. There's the Night Gatherer. That one will just basically be gathering up like dead bodies and that to eat in that back at the like dark zone, that sort of thing. Now, this isn't an official like zombie or version of a zombie. That's just one I came up with. I did mention that already. But I think that would actually be a pretty good idea. Anyways, what else was I going to mention? Oh, as for like online, I would like to see you be able to play as like different zombies. I already mentioned that as well. However, I would like to actually see like people be able to play as like a goon or a runner or volatile or hell, maybe one of these new special infected like a drowner or hell, that spider looking thing from the update like video. And what else? I would like to see like side missions that actually involve characters who could like affect the story. Basically, characters you would meet once that you could actually meet again. Probably should explain that better. Oh, I should also like say this other thing. I hope to actually see like return in outfits in that. Now you might be wondering, Scully, what do you mean return in outfits? Well, I mean like outfits that are from this game. However, I would like to see them modified in that. Like, let's say you see this ninja outfit in the next game.
About the dynamite you brought. We've got an idea of how to improve it. Drop by as soon as you can.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
basically, I would like to see like this outfit brought back in the next game. However, I would like to see basically, like, let's say, hold on, let's actually head into the building so we can actually get a perspective on it. Nope, nothing new from you. There we go. Outfits. Where is it? Right, here it is. Now, imagine basically there's like this cloth, like, basically torn, like, banner or something, basically painted black, over the top of, like, the player's head. It looks like a torn hood in that, and you basically see, like, a mask that is made from, like, a bandana or that. And you basically see, like, hide from an animal wrapped around the arms and legs. However, I imagine instead of, like, the type of feet you see there at the bottom, it would be like a boot type of a thing. Basically, I would like to see the same outfits, but they would be modified, like, added, like, new stuff in that. Speaking of that, I would like to actually see the feature to actually be able to modify your clothing by, like, adding armor or something to it. Now, that's not to say I am saying, like, make it so you can pick clothes off dead bodies and basically put it on you. No, I'm saying, like, make it so, like, as you level up in the game, you can level up outfits and basically swap to, like, different versions of those outfits. Or, basically, what I'm trying to say is unlock new versions of those outfits. And what else? What else am I hoping for? Now, I mentioned earlier, I hope there's, like, animals in the game. I kinda hope there's infected animals in the game. Now you might be wondering, Scully, why the hell would you want to see infected animals? Well, I mentioned earlier, like, during, like, different, like, scenarios, like, you could run into, like, wild dogs or hell tame dogs that will be a part of a faction or that, or hell, like, cats or other stuff. I would like to actually see the ability for you to be able to feed, like, some of the wild animals that are, like, friendly towards you and aren't, like, vicious. Basically, give them, like, some food you found or that. But, what else was I going to mention? Oh yeah, infected animals. I would like to see, like, different versions of, like, infected animals. Like, imagine you basically came across, like, this dog thing. And it basically virtually had no fur. It kind of looked almost like a volatile, but it looked extremely different in that. I would actually like to see something like that. Now, I think infected animals would actually be pretty unique. However, I imagine they would only be able to make it so certain animals were able to be infected. And I imagine, like, cows and horses couldn't be infected, though. Same with cats. Now, what else was I hoping for? Oh, I hope they, like, upgrade, like, the scavenging thing. Like, when you're scavenging, like, for garbage, I hope they make it so you can actually move your hands, like, for the garbage, not, like, you're trying to paw at it, kind of like a dog swimming. And I do hope to see, like, the original moves from the first game in the second game. And I hope they make it so, like, some of the moves are, like, already unlocked, and, like, some of them are, like, easier to unlock than the first game. But that's actually pretty much covered. I would also like to see, like, how do I put this? Ah, man, what was I gonna say for this part? I would like to see, like... Well, you goblins know when you, like, jump onto, like, a game on Dying Light, you're playing with, like, your buddy and that, your voice sounds the same. I'm kind of hoping they make it so, like, let's say you jump into a friend's game, they make it so you pick, like, a skin for your, like, character or that. I kind of hope they make it so you have, like, a different voice. Like, I hope they add, like, 4 different voices to the game, making it so it's, like, you're not just hearing the same person's voice over and over again. However, I think, like, they should make it so when you join, like, your friend's game, your voice would change and they would have, like, the main character's voice. But, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I hope to see in Dying Light 2. There's many other things, but I'm not getting in depth about that. I kind of do hope, like, they make it so that certain factions actually have, like, pet animals or animals that are used, like, as food sources or that, or ways to actually help, like, move stuff. I do kind of hope to see guns, like, some guns that are makeshift and some that you can actually keep in that. And I do hope to see like more versions of Infected, not just ones that actually look like they're male or that. I would like to see some that actually do look female and have like their own like special abilities, that sort of thing. But that's pretty much it. Let me know down in the comments what you goblins hope to see in the next game. And that's actually, yeah, that is pretty much it. So again, and let me know what ya goblins want to see in Dying Light 2, and what the hell was that? To me, there's several things I didn't mention, but I want to hear what ya goblins want to like see in the next Dying Light 2 game. And let me know your ideas that you wish to actually see. I'm saying this over and over again, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, goblins, that's pretty much it. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button too. If you have a friend who actually likes Dying Light and that, have them look at this video and have them leave a comment, and if they like the video or not. Basically, leave a comment saying what you liked about the video, leave a comment saying and what you would have actually said, that sort of thing. And if you're just tuning in or that, then I guess hit the refresh button. That works for me on my phone most of the time. I mean, you should be able to see it from the beginning. But, without further ado, to my fellow goblins out there, may your pockets be full of gold, may your loot be plentiful, and may you always have a village or a kingdom nearby that you can loot and plunder to your heart's content. But without further ado, I'm Scully the Goblin, and this was what I hope to see in Dying Light 2. Good night, and good luck. What the fuck was that?